Based on their many years of counseling people, Barbara Berger has identified what they call the 4 main areas which need to harmonize, more or less, for a couple's relationship to continue and thrive. 1. Good sex. 2. Good energy when you're together. 3. Shared values and interests. 4. Respect, especially when you are not in agreement. Let's look at these 4 areas and see why they're so important. But before we start, we'd like to emphasize that we are not talking about 2 people always matching 100% in each of these areas, but that on the whole, the 2 of you should be more or less a good match in these 4 areas. Good sex. We start with good sex because, for most of us, our relationships begin with the excitement of meeting and with good sex. It's fun and we feel good about it. So sex is a weather vane in any relationship, even after people have been together for a while. So, how is your sex life? Are you still doing it? How often? Does it feel good? Is it a source of pleasure in your relationship or a source of tension and disappointment? Or has it just sort of faded into the distance? Good energy when you're together. By this, we mean when the 2 of you are together. Is there good energy, more or less, most of the time? In other words, does it feel good when you're together? Is there a relaxed and light-hearted atmosphere when you're together, even though each of you is doing your own thing? And what about when you're doing stuff together? Is there good energy, or is it just a drag? Or is there lots of tension, irritation, or bad feelings? How does it make you really feel when you're together? Be honest. Shared values and interests. Shared values and interests are another important area where people need to be more or less in harmony for a couple's relationship to work in the long run. And by this we mean, even if you love each other, if the one person wants to spend all their time meditating on a mountaintop in silence, while the other person wants to spend all their time shopping in Paris, you might not be such a good match, because what are you going to do together? You don't like to hang out the way they like to hang out, and they don't like to hang out the way you do. It's important to have at least some shared interests if you want to do stuff together and hang out. Shared values are also very important. Again, if one partner wants to have an open relationship and wants to have sex with multiple partners, while the other person wants a monogamous relationship, then it can be hard to live together harmoniously because you don't have shared values. It's not that one way or the other is right or wrong, but rather that the 2 of you are probably just too far away from each other to live together harmoniously. Other shared values which can be important in couple relationships are, for example, having kids. It can be a problem if one of you wants to have kids and the other doesn't. How is that going to work? What about if you do have children? Then there is the question of how to bring them up. If one parent goes in for very strict discipline and the other parent is more laid back, this can create disagreement and tension in terms of how to bring up children. Who gets to decide? And what about keeping the house clean? If one person is very neat and tidy and the other is very messy, this again can cause endless problems and tension when these 2 people are living together in the same space. Is there some form of agreement about some of the basic activities these 2 people are sharing in the relationship? Because when the distance between the 2 parties is too great, when 2 people are too far apart in their basic approaches to life and various everyday issues we face, it can make being together and or living together very challenging. Respect, especially when you are not in agreement. Respect is our final point and is probably the most important of them all. By respect we mean, can you and do you treat each other with respect, especially when you disagree about things? It's easy to be nice and treat your partner respectfully if you always agree with each other. But are you psychologically mature enough to understand and realize that even people who love each other can disagree with each other, and sometimes often do? Do you understand that this is because we are all different and all have different backgrounds and ideas about how things should be and what to do? For a relationship to work, It's vitally important to understand that love and agreement are two different things. We can love someone very much and still disagree with them. So treating each other with respect, especially when you disagree with each other, is the most crucial aspect of any good relationship. Because if you can do this, if you can respectfully listen to each other and then sit down and discuss ways in which you can reach a workable compromise on whatever issues you find challenging, then your relationship has a really good chance of not just surviving, but thriving. When you look at your relationship or previous relationships, which can be an interesting exercise, in light of these 4 areas, you will probably notice that you and your partner are stronger in some areas than in others. But regardless, using these 4 points as markers will make it easier for you to identify where the strengths and weaknesses in your relationships are, and what steps, if any, you need to take to improve things. You'll also see that when you work on point 4, respect, and develop or improve respectful ways of communicating when there are disagreements, it influences the energy between you, and automatically there is better energy when you are together. This also often makes your sex life better too, so it all hangs together, and the better it gets, the better it gets. If you would like to learn far more about healthy relationship models, then please take a look at our book, Healthy Models for Relationships by Barbara Berger, who also provided the words for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to OBooks Presents for future content, and we'll see you next time.